Hey, this is John Popper from Blues Traveler. Welcome to Launch. When Bobby died, the thought of the band not existing was, I think, with Brendan, Chan, and myself every day. You know, I think it wasn't so much there was a point, it was more of a situation where there was a point when we started thinking, yes, this can work. So I think we all went into, we were definitely in shock. You know, I don't really remember a lot of the moves we made, but we were acting in the interest of our band, and we were really trying just to see what we could make last. I mean, we'd worked on it for 15 years, and we wanted it to survive, and we're psyched that it could. I mean, we were really lucky in a lot of ways. And we decided to just get very serious and to live and make it last. No, I think being a professional line dancer is not an embarrassing role. You know, I mean, it paid the bills, and I was young and I needed the money. You know, and as for the whole astronomy thing, I don't even pay that any mind. I was ready to take 1 year off from Blues Traveler. I really needed to do it just for me. And I think that that in itself was a big moment. The fact that I was willing to, I spent my 20s basically focusing on nothing but work. And that was just my own personal way of dealing with my crap. You know, avoidance, and just throw yourself into your work as much as possible. Meanwhile, I'm gaining weight hand over fist. After that solo record is when I needed an angioplasty. During the solo record, I realized how nice it is to have partners who get to make decisions with you, because every buck stopped right at me and I got exactly what I want. I wanted to experience total totalitarianism, just to see what it would be like, and I learned a lot. I learned to appreciate my bandmates more than ever. And I also got to try out different song styles that I really want to do. So writing it was very nutritional for me. And learning how to just be in charge of an entire thing taught me a lot about what I had. 10 days before that album got released, Bobby died. So I'd booked all of this press, stuff like this, actually, you people at home might be watching. And all of the questions turned from, how's it making a new album, to what's it like to Blues Traveler's over now? And, you know, how's it to have your best friend die? And, you know, and I had to go deal with all of these questions. And I mean, I was still in mourning. I was in shock. So I feel like I came off like Connie Francis or something, you know. It was like some sad Inquirer story. You're putting the pieces back together and stuff like that. And, you know, it just showed me, I went and I swallowed all of it because it's my job. And I just really took a lot of notes on how bad things can get. And it just makes the time now that much funner, because I'm not alone in this. They seem to give us enough rope to hang ourselves, and so far they seem to be hanging on, and they seem to like us. What's cool for them, actually, is that Tad, being in the band, he's really good at putting together a like he's really taken sort of the reins with our website along with our drummer, Brendan. You know, and I don't know diddly squat about, well, this is the internet. I don't know about the internet. I don't know how to even get my computer turned on half the time. And these guys have made our website modern, you know, certainly competitive with other websites. And I mean, our website just sort of sat on the shelf for a long time because we don't know how to do that stuff. And something that, an idea that Tad worked out with us was turning our disc into a, if you put it on your computer, you can also get a little visual, some clips of our rehearsal in Austin and our recording in Sausalito. And what's cool is you can see me in different stages of weight loss. You know, I'm sure that most of the people who, if they've seen the package on the record, they'll look at me in rehearsal and go, who's that big fat guy there? That guy sitting down all the time. Who's that guy who just won't get out of his chair? Please buy a record. Please buy it. Please buy a record. We need the money. Johnny needs a new wing put over the garage. Please. All right, well, one thing I'd say we need is, you know, to try and give you some respect to your question here. I'd say what Blues Traveler really needs is just a lot of gigs under our belt, I'd say. Just I think the thing that's really exciting to us is that as a band, as a live band, we're sounding better than we've sounded, and we want to keep taking it. And I don't feel like we've really even gotten started. So I want to see where we're sounding in like 5 years, We're going to be dangerous. And if we can all stay healthy, which I think is the plan now, I know I certainly intend to stick around for a long time. If I get hit by a bus, so be it. Doesn't mean I have to help the bus. We just want a lot of time to play together, and certainly to pay some bills would be nice. So that record thing is true also.
My first thoughts when I heard about it were, that's it, it's over, forget this. But, after a couple days went by, and we didn't talk about it, vocalize it, but we were all, and talking about it later, we all went through the same route. We realized that we still loved playing with each other. And I mean, we were all very close high school buddies and friends and had gone through great adventure together. And losing someone like Bobby, I realized how much John and Brendan, how much we meant to each other. The thought of breaking that relationship up seemed almost to double the tragedy. With Bobby's passing, initially, obviously it sucked. And for a good 6 months it sucked. I was in a good position because I just had a little boy who was around 1.5 at that time, and I spent a lot of time with him. Kind of gives you a good perspective on life. And, anytime someone very close to you passes, and for us, it was the first time any of us had ever experienced anything like that, it's really important that you don't try and put it in the back of your mind or forget about it or forget about the person. What you really need to work on doing is putting it in a good place. And I spent a lot of time doing that. And talking about Bobby is really a very, for the most part, joyful experience because I had such a great time with him. He's such a dear friend. I got his initials on my arm. I'm pretty good with that whole aspect. I mean, if I deal with the specifics of it, there's some bitterness there. But in remembering Bobby, I'm in a good place. And with John's weight loss, that's just been great. And the strange thing is Bobby's passing away reaffirms our love for each other. And I think really motivated John and us to help John take care of what he had to take care of because he was really probably running a little bit ahead of Bob in that category. So in the strange ways, Bob's passing has helped save John's life. So it's a strange way the world works, but I couldn't be happier about that. And I'm more than happy to talk about it any time it comes up. Either one. I mean, it's important, it's important to put those things in a good place where they're not something you're afraid to look at. The year previous to Bob dying, we had taken that year off because we were kind of burnt on how we've been doing things before. And we took that year off for each of the different members to kind of go do their own thing and get some other influences and just get a kind of breath of fresh air. And when we reconvened, take that kind of new attitude and really change things up a little bit. We were just creatively a little played out on the way we've been doing things before. John doing the solo record and playing with Frog Wings was what he did. Bob went to New Orleans and played with a bunch of bands. I actually wrote a book or a rough draft of a novel, which someday I'll finish. Writing a novel is a hell of a lot harder than being rock and roll. That's something I learned that year off. And Brendan did some studio production up in Seattle, and so he's got a studio up there he was working on. The main point is when you're in a band for it to exist for a long time, the band can't cage the members into one world. Everybody needs to feel like they're their individual selves as well. They seem to be very interested in what the band's doing. They're always giving us comments about what we should be doing better, what they didn't like, what they do like. And that's been very cool to us because it's a very one-on-one interaction you can have with the fan base, and it's a very anonymous, so they feel like they can express themselves really openly and not just, sometimes when you meet fans face-to-face backstage or in a situation like that, it's an awkward position and they want to say complimentary things and you're very happy to meet you and it's nice, but the communication isn't really as open as you get on the internet. It seems to me that the process continues. They notice things and know things about ourselves that we don't even know. And they make comments. One guy says something off the cuff, negative. Everyone will either beat on him or support him. And it goes around and around. For us, it's mostly it blows our mind how interested they've stayed throughout the whole process. And as long as people stay interested, that's really all you can accomplish. Pleasing everybody or making them love it isn't really what you're trying to do. We're trying to be interesting. For us, the most important thing now is to make music we're really proud of, live and on record, and to stay healthy individually. I think through a lot of years, we got so wrapped up in the band that it's a great excuse to let personal problems that you should be dealing with, to push them aside and not deal with them. Because you always have the excuse of the band getting after this. We got to hit that. Well, I'll deal with that later. Right now, it's all about balance for us and trying to make music we're proud of, do shows we're proud of, and keep ourselves healthy and keep balanced and whole as people. Where it goes from that, the whole mindset we had in the past was, we wanted to be the biggest band in the world. We wanted to sell millions of records. All that stuff's nice, but it's not our overriding goal.